How's it going, everybody? Billy's Blues doing another video. Been a couple days, been busy, work. Sometimes I sleep. It's confusing, I know, but got a couple recent pickups, one to show you, and then also a couple of the ones that I've been watching lately, and then just a few recommendations. I know that with Scary Movie Time coming out, at least for me, I already started probably about a week and a half or so ago. Been watching a couple, or where I can, and then also had a couple recommendations. Some of you may have heard of them, some not, but just wanted to show you a couple of the ones that I did pick out yesterday. I waited for this to come to my house up until about 7 o'clock. Once again, as I mentioned before, I fully understand. I'm not complaining. I know people have real problems in life. However, I just thought it was funny that usually, in the trivial sense, that a lot of these movies arrive between 2, 3 o'clock, in the afternoon, but somebody must have been busy yesterday. It's still in the plastic. Of course, I'm trying to do a video, so watch, it'll give me some sort of heartache here. Paramount Presents title have throw that over there. They have continued to surprise me. They were a lot more expensive starting out. This one was too, actually. I think this one was close to $40, 40 or 43. Doesn't matter. Point is I wasn't going to pay that much for it. I just went ahead and waited, and I'm glad I did. I know that the pre-order price compared to what the sale price is sometimes different, and a lot of times, Amazon will, obviously they're not going to charge you the $43 for it, though they usually reimburse you for it. But anyway, point is, I'm glad that this was lowered in price. I know that Chinatown, I haven't looked recently, but it was sold out the last time that I did look. And I had seen Chinatown before, but the last time I saw it was on DVD. So getting a 4K was super awesome. It also has the two Jakes, I believe, on there as well. I've seen that before too, but it's been probably at least 20 years since I've seen it. I only saw it once. And in the past 20 years, I've watched more than a couple movies, so it's definitely due for a rewatch. But as of right now, I want to get the more thriller, horror movies kind of out of the way and just go from there. But this release, I'm very, very, very excited about. I saw this in the theater, actually. I think that this is actually the original. Oh, come on. Yeah, this is what the original cover art is, which I thought was pretty cool. I was from the same people that did Taxi Driver, obviously, Martin Scorsese and Paul Schrader. I've got a couple of Paul Schrader movies. First Reformed. Yeah. This is also written and directed by him. If you haven't seen this, I highly recommend it, especially for Scary Movie Month or time. I keep saying month because I'm used to watching movies in October, so you'll just have to bear with me if I do. I meant to say Scary Movie Time. But the same person that wrote this wrote and directed this. And it's definitely interesting and might require a second view if you're slow like I am. Anyway, back to Bringing Out the Dead. I haven't seen this in a very long time. The last time that I did see it was DVD. I'm sure the internet will correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe there's been a Blu-ray release for this. At least not in the States. The back of it there looks pretty nifty. All in all, I'm very excited to check this one out. I may incorporate it even with Scary Movie Time, even though it's not really scary. It's just, I think it's more about Nicolas Cage's character learning to live with, I don't want to say mistakes he's made, just learning to live with life in general and going through the process. Not only that, it shows New York. in a grim light as well through Nicolas Cage's eyes. You know what it would be like from a paramedic. There are some pretty tough scenes in the movie if you haven't seen it, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out again. Oh, so Torso. I saw this for sale on the Arrow website, and I wasn't gonna pay what they were asking. At least not. No. And then with the Arrow sale going on right now, with their movies being 50% off, even on Amazon, it was still full price. I'm pretty sure it was full price. Once again, more than I wanted to pay. So I said no. I just happened to look at my Barnes & Noble. They had this, and I want to say around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, I reserved it to go pick it up. I'd never seen it. I know that I didn't get the limited edition with, I think it's like a yellow and gray cover, the Arrow limited edition one, but I'd never seen this. They're both the same. The writing's the same on the back. But I watched it yesterday. Lots of torso in Torso. That's we keep it G-rated over here, so that's all I'm gonna really say. It was lots of individuals in their birthday suits. Anyway, I watched the original Italian theatrical edition. Apparently there was one that incorporates scenes from an English and Italian language, and there's some parts in it, from what I was explained, there's an explanation of each. There's 3 different versions, and each version explains it, that there may be times where they speak in Italian and you don't have the English subtitles. And then there's one that is just them speaking in English. I always think those movies look weird. I mean, I guess I'll watch it. I have no problem watching subtitles. I like seeing films in their original language. I don't watch too many of the Giallo movies just because I haven't really had any suggestions from them. I know that Dario Argento is, kind of a cornerstone with Italian horror and things like that. I need to get a little bit more familiar with that avenue of film. I enjoyed this one, so I'm definitely going to try and check out more in the future with, similar Italian horror. It is a little cheesy. This movie was also made in, the 70s? You go, yeah, 73. So, what do you expect? I enjoyed it. I will definitely check it out again and maybe incorporate it into Scary Movie Time next year. Let me put these on the floor. I don't want them to fall and then I have to restart the whole video because I look dumb. The other Arrow release that I got was The Man from U.N.C.L.E. Very excited about this. I didn't have a chance to finish it. I'd watched it before, not this version or not this edition, but I'd seen. I think it was on a streaming service. I think it was Netflix. That I'd started watching it, but I only watched maybe 45 minutes to an hour of it. They had this at my Barnes & Noble for a while, but they didn't have the 4K. So who needs 4K? This guy. So it wasn't really that important to me. If I was going to get it on Blu-ray, I know Amazon has the Blu-ray edition super cheap. And I just waited, and I'm glad I did because I've got the 4K edition and got it on that 50% off too. So can't complain about that. There's the back of it. Nothing too special. Just kind of talks about the contents and, of course, the synopsis and the cast, like most movies do, I suppose. But I like Guy Ritchie. Snatch is definitely one of my favorite movies, and I enjoyed watching this, so I'm looking forward to giving it another try, just to finish it up at least. Some of the movies I've been watching lately. I'm not going to go too much into this because I keep talking about it over and over again, but I finally had a chance to watch The Late Night with the Devil. This will be the 3rd time I think I've watched this year. I watched this with my kids who are older, and they enjoyed the heck out of it. They hadn't seen a trailer, they didn't know anything about it, and that's what I'm hoping that most people do, is don't watch the trailer and have an idea of maybe expecting something. If you have seen the trailer, try your best to forget it. But this one was really good. I mentioned it before, so it's one of my favorite movies of the year, next to Alien and Love Lies Bleeding, which I've also said before. But yeah, I know there's a DVD release of this. I also know that they're going to come out with a regular Blu-ray of it. I didn't see the point in waiting for that. I like that edition. I'm glad I got it. I already went off on deep discount. I want absolutely nothing to do with them whatsoever. Deep discount. Like I said, we keep it G-rated over here, so they can go to church and learn about the Lord. I started watching Zombie. I'd seen this before. This is Italian horror. Look at me. I'm over here saying I don't know much about Italian horror, and I got Zombie in the collection. Anyway, there's some bloody images on the back, so I won't go into that. I guess this isn't too much better, but whatever. I know this came out with a 4K. You can't win them all. Sometimes you have to pick and choose. I went ahead and just I'm good with my Blu-ray. I only watched this, around this time. I didn't watch it last year, so I'm definitely gonna finish it up. I think I've got about 30 minutes left of this. Apparently, this came out. This was considered very violent. 1979. I think a lot of movies were kind of riding along with, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, things like that. I enjoyed this movie. I think it's very entertaining. There's a scene with a zombie that gets bitten by a shark. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I just found it very entertaining that the filmmaker said, you know what? Watch this. This is what we're about to do. Anyway, Zombie is good. My kids wanted to see Nope also. This, I'm pretty sure, was the Walmart edition. This had to be the Walmart edition. I found the last one. I know they made a regular edition. I'm going to be honest with you. I like the cover for what it's worth, but I cannot stand this. It's in 4K. In case you didn't know, it's also in 4K. And it's the collector's edition. And then we get the cover. So thanks for that. Same thing with this. Look. 4K, 4K, 4K. 3 times. 3 in 4K. Appreciate it. Anyway, this movie was divisive. I know that either you love it or you hate it. I didn't have a problem with it. I watched it the first time and then thought about it and said, okay, I'm going to give it a minute before I say anything about it. And it's probably been about a year and a half, 2 years since I'd seen it. I'd seen not an explanation, more of thoughts and what people maybe pointed out certain things and what they thought about it. I enjoy this movie for what it's worth. I don't think it's over the top. I think it's just I don't even think it's really that scary. I just found it entertaining. The 4K transfer looks and sounds really good. Give it a try. Make your own opinion. Not a lot of people liked it, I know, but there's certain Jordan Peele movies that I don't care for. So everybody, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody has their own opinion, but I thought Nope was relatively decent. I like the movie Us also, and that was actually my first Steelbook. It's under you, so The Letter. So I'm not going all the way over there, but anyway. Couple of suggestions that I have for scary movie time. Event Horizon. Like with most movies, whenever I find one that I want to get, I buy it, and guess what happens about a month later? The 4K gets dropped. I was not getting the 4K. I know that everybody went crazy over the Steelbook and that it sold out. I think they re-released the Steelbook. This edition is fine for me. Was a Scream Factory? Yep, it's a Scream Factory. I think that there's also just a regular Blu-ray of this. It's in the regular Blu-ray case. I like this edition. It looks and sounds just fine to me. Would I have liked the Steelbook? Sure. If I didn't have this, I would have gotten the Steelbook. But like I said, can't win them all. The front and back are the same with the art. I saw this in the theater. Probably one of the scariest movies that I saw whenever I was a kid. I was expecting more of an action movie whenever I went to go and see it. I remember seeing this with my stepdad, and it scared the daylights out of me. Maybe, I think I watched it 2 years ago, and I'm still thinking to myself, this movie is actually, it's actually pretty scary. There are some cheesy graphics in it, I get it, but I don't know. To me, this movie is scary, and it's entertaining. I know that there are people there's a work print version of the movie that I think is around 2 hours and 10 minutes, and this is like an hour and a half, hour and 35 minutes. So there's a version out there that was much more of an adult nature that didn't go well with audiences. So the company told the director that he had to put this edition out to make it so it's something that people wouldn't mind going to see, and it wouldn't, make people sick. Big fail on their part. There is probably hundreds of people that I've heard review this movie and always talk about the work print version of the movie and how it's been, I guess, destroyed. That's at least what I'm hearing. So there's no way to ever get it. I'm not holding my breath. We'll have to settle for this. But like I said, I saw this in the theater when it came out, 97, right? 1997. Holy moly. I was 13. But yeah, definitely a good one for Scary Movie Month. Another one, Feast. This one isn't so bad. I know they made sequels to it that, weren't all that great. I think I saw the second one. I don't know if they made a third one or not. Anyway, doesn't matter. I like this one. It's a monster movie. It's definitely different than something like Event Horizon. It's just good, gory, fun. Nothing over the top. Mostly it's people, I think they're in a bar, and these monsters come and attack the bar, and the people have to defend themselves from the monsters. But it isn't rated, as it says over here, unrated. So they can pretty much show all the greasy, grimy gopher guts that they want to. Ooh. Probably the first movie that I ever saw in life that actually scared me. I can remember seeing scary movies whenever I was younger, but this movie terrified me like no other. I remember seeing this for Thanksgiving one year. My uncle had it recorded, and I went down to his basement where some of my cousins were watching this, and this came out in 1990, and I watched, it came out, it was a TV show that came out. Part 1 was on one night, part 2 was on the next, and I remember watching part 1 and just being utterly terrified, and looking back on it now, I love it. I read the book. I feel like this is the better version out of the remakes. I have the remakes. I thought they were entertaining, but there's something about the book I felt like that was more about the friendship of the children and the bond that they had. Compared to something like this, they make it just about Pennywise, and it was more about like I said, the friendship that the kids have and how they come together to fight something that terrifies them all. Not to mention there's things in the book that I heard Stephen King regrets putting in there that they cannot put in any type of movie ever. Once again, we keep it G over here, so not going to go into all of that. I found this at Walmart, by the way, I want to say about 4 years ago. It's just the Blu-ray, but I think this case is super fancy. I've still got the VHS tape, actually, of this. It's somewhere around here. It's probably put away, but definitely suggest that one. Probably more than the other two. I've had this one for a while to let me in. I know this is a remake from another movie called Let the Right One In. I haven't seen that one. Honestly, I didn't know about it, about the original one until I saw this one. I like this movie. It's a good vampire movie. I think that the younger cast does a great job. The dad from Step Brothers is in this. What's his name? Is it Richard Jenkins? Yeah, and it's really neat to see how versatile of an actor he is to go from comedy to to something like this, which is far from comedy. You can see I got my movie stop sticker, and no, I did not pay $30 for this, but the slipcover on this looks pretty cool. I don't even know if the slipcover thing is still around or not. Something I should look into, but yep, I thought that this was a really entertaining movie, and I think it's definitely a good one for scary movie time. Do not watch this movie. Ever. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. It's Martyrs. There is a French version, which is this one, and there's also an American version, which whoever made that should be ashamed of themselves. It is trash truck juice. It is the worst out of the worst ever. I would never own that. I would never suggest that remake. It's just terrible. This is a staple cornerstone of what horror movies should be. I understand that there's different genres of horror and how you can break it down. It isn't just one type of scary movie. Some people might think that Silence of the Lambs, falls under psychological horror, for example, that's a type of horror. That's not something that scares me. I just find Silence of the Lambs to be a good movie. This is one of maybe 5 movies that I've ever watched, and I have seen thousands upon thousands of movies. This is the one of 5 movies that I've ever had to shut off to come back to watch. I saw this, I used to be in the military and I was in France. I saw the commercial for it, it was in French. I don't speak French, so I didn't know. In French, they were probably saying, stay away from this movie, it's not good, and you're gonna be terrified, and you'll suggest it on your YouTube video in 14 years. Man, it is such a good movie, but it is very, very difficult to watch. If you don't find this movie disturbing in just a teeny tiny way, you might need help. This is the Umbrella version of it. I'm not going to take the slipcover out because there's an individual in her birthday suit on the box, so we'll just do this right here. But this is the unrated version of it. I think the unrated version is maybe a minute longer, if even that. The movie is about a young girl who is kidnapped by a group, society, and she escapes, but she never really fully recovers. So she stays in limbo of being mentally ill, but also perfectly normal. And it just, those personalities shift back and forth. She finds the individuals that either did or didn't do what the torture and whatnot to her, and she goes after them. And what happens after that is a majority of the movie is spent in a house. Just be careful with this one. I suggest it only if you have been watching horror movies for a long time. Do not watch this with your kids. I don't tell people what to do, but if you watch this with young children, you are a terrible person. This is a great, great movie for people who just think that they've seen it all and are looking for something new. here you go. That's a tough movie. Last but certainly not least, Midnight Meat Train. Good old Bradley Cooper movie. I was going to turn over on the back. There's a little bit of graphic violence on the back, or maybe somebody could consider it graphic, so we won't go there. I actually have this on DVD, and I just wanted to upgrade it. That's why it's still in the plastic, because I found it for, I think it was $3 or $4 on eBay, brand new. Somebody just wanting to get rid of it, so sold. $4, free shipping. Yeah. Clive, it says Clive Barker on the top. That probably means he just produced it or he came up with the story. Probably both. But I like this movie. I feel like there are some good scenes in it, you know, with the kill scenes. When this movie's over, you don't really have, you're just kind of left going, okay, that's it. But it does give you, I feel like, a good ending. But Bradley Cooper's character is, I will always see Bradley Cooper as Chris Kyle, the American Sniper. But so seeing him do something like this, where it's completely 180. I feel like this was very entertaining. The kills in it are definitely good. There is some CGI in it, but what do you expect? I mean, just take it for what it's worth. It isn't meant to be Godfather and win a bunch of awards. It's meant to be gory. It's meant to have a simple story, and that's what it does. That's it for now. If you like the video, feel free to subscribe. I've been trying to put some of these videos out at least one a week. I am going to try and come up with a couple of other movies that I'm going to be watching, or the ones that I just suggest in general. I love this time of year. I love watching the scary movies, and I love getting recommendations for scary movies. Every once in a while, like the Torso, I had heard about that from other channels that I watch, and other individuals said that they were going to be excited about seeing it. So I got that just based really off of a suggestion. Plus, with the Arrow Video sale going on, they're so cheap, and I wish it was like that all the time. Same thing with Criterion. I wish Criterion was on sale all the time, but I think for my wallet would suffer, and there's no way I'm paying $50 or $40, whatever they are, for a movie, unless it's some type of insane label that gets put out, movie that gets put out. Drive. If I could find the second sight version of Drive for $40, I would probably get that. But yeah, I definitely want to go through a couple of other movies, and if you do have any suggestions, let me know. Please do subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. Tell everybody to subscribe. Get your grandmother's phone and subscribe to the channel. She won't know the difference anyway. I hope everybody has a good week, and we'll see you soon. Thank you.